site the entire time. I remember we had a group of this committee that went down to the El Paso section of the border. This was back in February, March of 2021. And during that time period, we were at one of the holding centers, and there were these buses that were coming to the detention facility, and they were picking up 30 kids, 50 kids at random, walking out of the facility. And when I went over to question the bus driver that was transporting these kids, border agents told me, as a member of Congress, that you're not allowed to question the bus driver. And of course, people knowing me, I didn't take no for an answer, and I repeated the question. And I was told that this bus of children was leaving El Paso and going to San Diego. And so what was occurring under the Biden administration is that they were busing unaccompanied minors all across the United States for one reason and one reason only. And that was because they did not want the press to see the pictures of kids in cages. They did not want to see our borders being overrun. They wanted to disperse that problem all through the United States. That is the reckless history of illegal immigration under Joe Biden and the Democrat Party. Mayor Johnston of Denver, yes, you lamented earlier that there were 10 to 11 buses coming per day to your city. Did you ever talk to Joe Biden about why this was happening to your community?
Thank you, Congressman. I both reached out to Governor Abbott from Texas. He didn't respond, and I did.
Why would you reach out to Governor Abbott of Texas when it is Joe Biden, the former commander-in-chief, that opened up our borders? Why didn't you talk to him?
Well, our buses directly were being sent from Governor Abbott in Texas, so that was why we reached out to say we're happy to collaborate on a coordinated entry system. We understand no one state or no one city should bear the entire brunt of this, but let's collaborate. But I did.
So I'm glad you said that, because that brings me to my next point. Governor Abbott and Governor DeSantis, when they started moving illegal aliens out of their states who were bearing the brunt of what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were doing, and they've sent them to Denver, they sent them to Chicago, they sent them to New York, they sent them to Martha's Vineyard. The reason why they did that is because you four could hide behind the realities of illegal immigration on border towns all through our country and on cities and states who did not want to see illegal immigration, but did not have the political representation to go to the White House. And
okay, before he gets deeper in what he's talking about, so this is Byron Donalds. If y'all don't know, he's a congressman, basically representing Florida. So, you know, he's just getting out what he has to say, because you have Mayor Johnson, you have also Mayor Adams up there, so they can talk to them about some stuff that, you know, they have questions about, right? Now, one thing that I remember, right, is I remember when the immigrants and all of that stuff started coming into our country. I remember I was in the state of Massachusetts where the immigrants, they didn't have to, right? In order to get aid, they didn't have to show a social security or anything. They just had to give their name. So if they went into the office, they just had to give their name and ask them the reason, tell them the reason why they needed aid, and they would give it to them. So for the people that was actually Americans, those people, they weren't getting the aid that they needed, because all of the money that they were using to aid the people that normally would need it and normally would get the help would go to the migrants, right? So with this situation, it is a situation of it's illegal, so it shouldn't happen. If they want to come into our country, they can come into our country legally, and that's something that people have a big problem with. No one is saying that these people shouldn't be here. They saying if they come here, they have to come here the right way, just like these other people have came here. Because I'll give you an example. If my level of entry to get into this spot is I have to have at least a high school diploma, okay? I have to have a credit score of blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying these are the entries. I'm just giving you an example, okay? So I have to have a credit score of blah, blah, blah. I have to have high school diploma. I have to have been working the same job for 5 years. And I have to also be able to speak the language, right? If this is my level of entry, but then we're sneaking people in the background like, yeah, you can come in, you good, don't worry about it, we got your back, we even gonna pay for you, so you ain't gotta even work a job. We gonna give you vouchers and money too. That turns into people saying, okay, why did I have to do this and this person do it? Okay, but we gonna let him finish, so we gonna let him go ahead with what he's saying now.
And only when it showed up on your doorstep did you get upset. Mayor Johnston, coming back to you, how much did
But my point was just to say that was to say, with the immigrants, with the migrants, we're okay with y'all coming in, but we're not okay with y'all coming in illegally. That's my point.
your city spend on illegal immigration? Do you have a round number?
Over the last couple of years on all newcomers, whatever their status was, it's around 79 million since 2022.
79 million. Mayor Johnson, Chicago. How much has the city of Chicago spent on illegal immigration?
If you're referring
Mayor
to
Johnson don't
the
know.
2022 up to 2024 of the buses coming from Texas, roughly the same
Mayor Johnson
percentage of
don't
the
know.
state of
Trust me.
Texas, about 1% of our overall budget.
What is that?
He
Because
ain't
we don't
gonna
have
give
the
you a
city's budget in front of me. Numbers.
It's 1%, and if you want the actual calculation, we can make sure someone.
You're the mayor. You don't have the math in front of you.
It's 1% of the overall budget over the
All
last
right, that's
4
why
years,
you're a failing
which
mayor.
is
Mayor
the same
Adams,
number that
how
was
much did the
sent from
city of
us
New
from
York
the
actually
state
spend
of
on
Texas.
illegal immigration? Mayor Johnson, I already asked you. You don't have a hard number, and if you don't have a hard number, you're not running your city well. Mayor Adams, how much did the city of New York actually spend on illegal immigration?
6.9 billion of taxpayers' dollars.
$6.9 billion of taxpayer money on a problem that was fostered on the American people. Mayor Wu, in the city of Boston, how much did you spend?
We don't ask about immigration status and delivering city
You don't
services,
ask
so
about
we
how
don't
much
have
money
that
the city
number.
of
And she
Boston has
represents
spent on
Boston,
illegal
y'all. Remember
immigration.
this.
Are
We
you
don't
out of your
distinguish
mind?
between immigration status.
Do you
as
manage
part
your
of our
budget
city
or not,
policies.
Mayor Wu?
That is how we keep our
Mayor
city
Wu, do
safe.
you manage
We
your
have
budget or
the
not?
numbers to prove it. I manage my budget. I have a AAA bond rating dating back 10 years.
So
for
to the city of Boston,
budget.
just understand that your mayor does not care how much of your resources she has spent on people who are not citizens
The city of
the city
Boston
of
is
Boston.
sick of
I'm
having people
reclaiming my
outside
time.
Boston
Mr.
telling
Bear,
us what
Mr.
Let me tell y'all what she said, and we gonna end this video. So she was this lady right here, right? Michelle Wu. This lady was saying that this is their home for the illegal immigrants, the illegal migrants. She was saying that this is their home. They don't have to worry. They're protected. Okay? We have a problem in America to where these people, they don't want to do the right thing. And I don't know if they're incentivized to do the wrong thing. Like, I don't know if they're getting money on the back end, because I'm pretty sure that they get compensated for whatever they do and these little deals that they make. But I don't know. I can't prove that. You know, but I really wonder what's the goal here. Like, if you're the mayor of this city, I mean, this state, this city or state, what's the goal? Like, aren't you supposed to do the best thing for your city and state? And aren't you also supposed to abide by the rules and laws and regulations of the United States so we can all come together to make our country stronger? But that's just me. Okay? But yeah, props to Byron Daniels. Props to him. Make sure y'all leave y'all thoughts down below. Also, leave a like for the algorithm. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. Okay? For those that are subscribed, make sure you press the notification bell. And for those that do want to subscribe, welcome to the family. But also, have a good evening, good day, good night, good morning, wherever y'all at. And I'll see y'all.